Hey there, hi there, ho there, welcome back once again to another exciting episode of Disney Compendium. I am your host, JJ, as always. On the other side of the line, my good friend Nick. The year is 2008.
Yeah.
Truman Show came out 10 years before this, I think. And
but we're here to talk about Usain Bolt.
Usain Bolt, exactly. It's a very exciting biopic from the brilliant minds at Miramax. And no, yeah. We got to go back in time to when it was okay to praise some of that studio.
He's a brilliant producer, is what he is. Yeah.
I've been listening to the Disney book Disney War. It's not a Disney book. It's a Michael Eisner book, Disney War. And it's funny to listen to them sort of talk about some of this stuff, like because they talk about Weinstein in it, and because this is when Disney acquired Miramax and stuff, right. And we're doing that stuff, and it's just funny. And it's like Eisner had a contentious relationship with.
Well, that speaks well, Eisner, I suppose.
Eisner, when he first met him, because when they first met Bob Iger, because Iger was head of ABC when Disney had acquired ABC.
Right.
And so that's where he met him. And he did not like Iger because he was like, he's uncreative. He's, he's just a businessman. So I'm like, oh yeah, and that's really not too much different because Bob Iger is probably the least creative person in charge of a major movie studio perhaps ever. So
what you're saying is history has borne out Eisner correct.
Yeah, no, Eisner was a lot of things, but he was not like a bad producer. I mean, like,
yeah,
he understood the creative process for movies.
I will say this for Michael Eisner, not a sexual predator.
I mean, nobody's ever said anything about him, so
so he's got that on Weinstein.
He's got that on Weinstein. Don't know anything about Bob Iger personally, so.
But would you be surprised?
No.
Okay.
You don't run ABC and then not have some skeletons in the closet.
Tim Allen just waiting to read that book.
Yeah, that was a major. What was it? I think it was Michael Ovitz. He was president of Disney for like 4 years. He was like the most powerful man in Hollywood, and then Eisner brought him over and absolutely destroyed his career after that because he didn't give him any power
from that guy.
Yeah, Tim Allen was threatening not to return to the set, and so like there was like a dinner and everything, and Ovitz is well known for having like an art collection, and so he was and Tim Allen was like kind of an art guy a little bit. So he was able to get him a nice piece of art to get him back to Home Improvement, and it worked. And he tried to ask Disney to reimburse him for the price of the art piece, but Michael Eisner at this time already hated the fact Ovitz in the position and just like blew up about it.
So Tim Allen art, Robin Williams art.
Yes, that's Disney. Disney placated two men with art.
Yeah.
So at minimum.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about Home Improvement. It's a whole different. That's like season 7 of Disney Compendium.
Yeah. We just talk about
TGIF and the like.
Remember how JTT just never came back?
Yeah.
Never came back.
Yeah, most of the cast never really. Tim Allen's the only one that really ever had anything resembling a career after.
Richard did The Family Feud.
Yeah, The Family Feud, a basic cable TV show that
cable, bro. It's like
Yeah.
In my area, it's what comes on before the news.
Yeah, it's not really. It's like he's not like Dawson or whatever. It was most people forget that entire like. Hey, Richard Karn and Louis Anderson were hosts of Family Feud.
Louis Anderson had other stuff too, but yeah, it's like it's so you have Richard Dawson, who of course was amazing on Family Feud.
Yes, but also a sexual predator on Family Feud.
Also the Running Man.
Yeah. Yes.
Ray Combs killed himself.
Not great.
He had the worst contestant.
Yeah.
And
I don't remember.
You got Steve Harvey doing Steve Harvey stuff.
Steve Harvey, people seem to absolutely love Steve Harvey's Family Feud. So
yes, they do.
Yeah, that's because
I don't.
He's good at acting like his soul left his body. So
yeah,
the new Family Feud is like incredibly horny. Like every question has some sort of crude joke associated with it these days. So.
It's like, what would you put on a sandwich? Naked grandma. What?
Yeah, and when the sign comes down, they always go with the slang term of everything. It's always the strangest. It's the strangest show. And it's like, this is definitely not family oriented anymore.
Yes, it's always like really super conservative white people and church going African Americans.
Yeah.
That is every episode.
Yeah, it is. Monocles are popping out of eyeballs while there's a church celebration going on the other side. So,
it is. That is the dynamic.
Sister Act is going on one side where flash dance is happening.
No, it's not even flash dance. The other side is like, cool.
Well, no, it's the people that are trying to ban dancing.
Yes,
Footloose. There we go.
My name's Heather, and I don't think white privilege is a problem. Oh, this is going to be a great episode of Family Feud. What that is.
One side's wearing masks, one side's not. That's how the Family Feud is these days. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Disney's 48th animated feature, the 2008 Bolt. This starts what is considered the Disney revival era.
With Scott Dawson. And,
yes. FTR. This is the Disney revival era. It kicks off with this. You would think it would kick off with some of the previous movies, since I think Meet the Robinsons is as good as this movie.
I would say better.
Yeah, but I mean, this is still a good movie. It's just it's a weird movie. It doesn't feel like Disney movie.
No, it does feel like, hey, we could contractually have Miley Ray Cyrus under contract, so let's just use her.
This one,
John Travolta for reason.
And in case you're curious, the Disney revival era is technically still considered to be ongoing because they haven't had the fall yet.
Right.
So everything's still going strong. Like with the Disney Renaissance era, you had a fall,
Tarzan.
With the, after the Disney Golden Age, you had a fall. Like the Dark Ages were considered the time frame where they were doing the most successful movies out of that were like The Great Mouse Detective and stuff like that, Black Cauldron, which made no money. So
yes, but if you go back to listen to early episodes, we actually like those two movies.
Yeah. So and like The Rescuers is probably the most significant movie that came out during the Dark Ages of it. But then Pocahontas kicked off the decline after the Renaissance era, quote unquote Renaissance era,
right?
Which started with Little Mermaid and ended with technically Tarzan, but I think we'll say Tarzan was the first one post Renaissance for this podcast's necessity.
Tarzan was the dystopian future.
Yeah. So this is the revival era. So this is where Disney has sort of turned it around. Like things are now starting to be critically praised again. It's not like they haven't had hits. Like Lilo and Stitch was a hit.
Yeah.
But like, we just came off of just a couple of episodes ago where it's Chicken Little and Home on the Range, which were just like such abysmal films.
Dinosaur,
even ones that are fine. Treasure Planet and Atlantis, I think, are okay movies.
Right, but
they're not great. They didn't like really feel like they were part of like the Disney like pedigree. But they were perfectly fine, and they would be fine. They would be great animated films at any other studio.
You know what? And now you're talking, and I think about it. This does not feel like a Disney movie. This feels like an Illumination.
Yeah, well, during this, it feels like this could very easily have been a DreamWorks film from the era.
Yeah,
or like Fox, like doing the Ice Age movies and stuff. This 2008, so that's around the time of that stuff happening too. So. We're in a post Shrek world at this point.
We're the Happy Feet now.
Yeah. And this is 2008. Disney bought Pixar in 2006. So and we're kind of at this tipping point of like, what's a Disney movie, what's a Pixar movie, because they were kind of starting to become one. Mm-hmm. At a certain point, the initial plan at one point for Disney was to basically just buy Pixar and just have the Pixar animation team become the Walt Disney Animation Studio team. So there really wouldn't be a Pixar anymore. It would just be all Walt Disney Animation Studios, but basically running Pixar. But the whole thing with Michael Eisner and Steve Jobs sort of blew that all up. But because I think at some point we're going to have to start doing some Pixar stuff, but the story goes with Pixar was they had a contract with Disney, and it was X amount of movies that they were under contract to do. Toy Story 2 was originally designed to be a straight-to-video movie, and it wasn't going to count towards their mandatory films that they had to make. But they were able to sort of argue that because it went theatrical, it should count. So Eisner, not wanting to acquiesce, did. And they were starting to work on Toy Story 3. And Eisner was doing three movies. The three cannot count towards this. He desperately wanted Cars. He wanted the movie Cars made. That was his big thing. Because if Toy Story 3 was the next one, then they wouldn't get Cars, because now Pixar isn't beholden to Disney anymore.
Right.
So, it became a thing. Eisner and the studio needed another exploitable franchise. Toy Story merchandise was always huge, and having Cars under their belt, they thought would be a huge boon to their merchandising.
And they were correct.
They were absolutely correct. It has to be one of the most profitable franchises Disney has outside of like Mickey Mouse in general. So
pretty popular, pretty marketable. Yeah. I mean, it's like here, Hot Wheels, do it.
Yeah.
Make it.
Yeah. Anyone that can make toys makes Cars stuff. And you can't, there's a land, I think we'll do some Pixar stuff at some point in the future, but
not Cars.
No, I'm sorry. If we're gonna go all in. We're gonna there's only a few Pixar movies. We'll watch Cars. It's not
Planes though.
No. Planes doesn't count. We're just talking theatrical Pixar. So unfortunately, Cars isn't the one you have to worry about. It's Cars 2 that you have to worry about.
The first part is fine.
Cars 1's fine.
It's got Paul Newman in it.
Yeah, can't go wrong. Well, you could go very wrong, but still. But anyways, yeah, Disney is in their like very weird stage right now. They just recently, within the last couple of years, have gotten Pixar under their belt. Bob Iger has taken over by this point. Everything's sort of coming up Disney. So out comes, everything starts turning around a little bit. Meet the Robinses wasn't necessarily a huge hit, but things were turning around. And so you come forward to 2008, and you are at Bolt. When did it come out in 2008? I think must have been Disney. It's always like fall. So yeah, November 21st, 2008.
So right for Thanksgiving break.
Yeah, a budget of $150 million.
Dang.
A box office of $310 million.
Oh, so it
did really
almost triple money.
Yeah, and that's just usually domestic. I think worldwide it was much.
Right.
So, and then after this, it's just gangbusters. Everything starts turning around completely after this, with only a couple of minor sort of blips. Like there are a couple that are huge successes coming up. Like Winnie the Pooh wasn't a huge success, but it's not a bad movie by any stretch of the imagination. But for the most part, everything's sort of successful or good coming out from this. So,
and the good difference. I mean, would you say like of the voice cast, the person with the most star value at the time was probably Miley Cyrus?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And when it was
and like I said, they already had her under contract, and her show was successful. So,
and the young version of her character is Chloe Grace Moretz, like Hit Girl, and from the Carrie remake and everything.
Oh yeah. She always looks confused.
Yes,
you have that very like.
It's actually like this cast is really something else. Let's get to we'll just run down the cast first and foremost. Bolt himself is voiced by John Travolta.
That's
all people.
Which I didn't know at first. I didn't recognize him at first.
No, it does not sound like John. There's never a point where he even tries to do like a John Travolta impersonation in the movie. Like
Benny Moreno.
Yeah. Sometimes you expect him to talk like you expect him to say "up your nose with a rubber hose" or something, but no, he plays it. He plays it straight. He plays it. He's doing a voice, and I'm really impressed with his work in this. Despite it's not particularly interesting. It's very plain, but knowing that it's John Travolta, you're like, hey, you know what? Good on you. You did something.
He should have done Face Off John Travolta.
Yeah. Now I'm all in on that.
Okay.
Susie Essman is the cat. That's becomes his buddy.
Who's the voice actress? Sorry.
It's Susie Essman. She's do you watch Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Yes.
Susie Green.
Oh, she's the wife of the guy. Yeah. Larry Putz.
Yeah. Yes, there you go. I'm trying to think if there's any other major. Broad City. She was on several episodes of Broad City. Mark Walton is the voice of Rhino the hamster, and all he is a Disney guy. He's not a Disney voiceover guy. He's like storyboard artist, or he works for the visual department or whatever. He was Goosey Lucy in Chicken Little, and the Longhorns in Home on the Range.
So basically, hey, you already work here.
Yeah. So Disney does that. It's quite a bit.
Yeah.
Miley Cyrus is Penny, the main
niece.
Yeah. Yes, Inspector Gadget's niece with her dog. Brain.
With her dog.
Yeah.
The evil cats. Holy crap! It's Inspector Gadget.
Yeah. Malcolm McDowell is the green-eyed man, the evil guy. So we'll get to what any of this means later on. I don't think we should start explaining what this movie is until we actually get to the movie.
Is Malcolm McDowell never not a heavy?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay.
The closest he ever got to not being a heavy is that he played Loomis in Rob Zombie's Halloween, and even then, he's a real butthole.
God, I remember that.
Yeah, he
No,
sucks
wait.
in that.
Wait, Time Machine. He was all. I think he was in Time Machine. And
Yeah.
But
you've got Diedrich Bader as one of the cats in this movie, who's we all know from the Drew Carey Show.
Yep.
James Lipton is in it. It's one of his last film roles. He's the film director in this movie.
Where do we go when we die?
Yeah.
Well, no, Diedrich Bader was the voice of Batman on Brave and the Bold, or the new Batman cartoon.
Diedrich Bader?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, he was.
And he was the neighbor from Office Space.
Yeah. You got a few other minor actors in it. Jenny Lewis of The Wizard fame. Most people know her. Most people.
Alex with that.
Yeah. Most people would know her as like the lead like singer of Rilo Kiley, but no, she's he touched my breast lady in The Wizard.
Yeah.
John DiMaggio is in it because he's just a voiceover artist and he's in everything.
Yeah, he's
Bender from
I see he did a lot of didn't he do some Animaniacs and Tiny Toons as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
And also in the movie is Macho Man Randy Savage.
Did I miss him?
Yeah, he plays a thug in the movie. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll make it the best movie.
Yeah, it's all right. It's #1 Disney movie, Macho Man Randy Savage.
Hey, stuck dog, you're going no way.
But Randy Savage not doing the end of his career should have just been voiceover work, period. He was so good in everything that I wish he was just in more stuff. He can only sound like Randy Savage, but I don't care.
I remember him in 2 other voiceover things. He was an extra episode of Dexter's Lab.
Yeah.
And then he played Space Ghost's dad on.
He did. He played Space Ghost's dad on Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Absolutely love that.
He's got the best voice.
Yeah. What else? There was something. I'm trying to think. He was he was Bonesaw, obviously, in Spider-Man. Yeah. What the hell? Super Rhino. What is that movie? Oh, there was a Disney short, Super Rhino, that starring the hamster that's in this movie that Randy Savage reprised his voice in. Let's see. Space Ghost Coast to Coast. He was in the Weird Al show. He was in the Duck Dodgers cartoon from the 2000s.
Huh.
And he was in an episode of King of the Hill.
Okay.
And he was in, it says video games. It says he's only been in one video game, but I guess that makes sense because his career was pre voiceover work. It doesn't count when you're just playing yourself in a WCW Nitro title screen.
I could say that weird Legends of the Ring game that came out.
He was in a Cars video game. When did he die?
2010.
Okay, so this game was released in 2009. So one of his last projects was Cars Race-O-Rama for.
So when did he do that? That Mattel thing at Comic Con.
It might have been 2009 because I think that's about when they put the license out. Because remember, okay, we're gonna do the little nerd thing here. They're putting out that Decade of Destruction line this year,
right?
So that's them, or Decade of Dominance, which is celebrating their 10th anniversary, and that was one of their first major announcements was that Randy Savage was going to be in their first Legends line. So that would have been 2009, 2010.
After Jackson had failed to secure the license.
Yes.
Which, I'm sorry, no. Just pay him the money.
Yeah. That's... So enough of the Randy Savage podcast. Back to the Bolt show. I guess we could start talking about Bolt. This movie, the first time you see this movie, had you seen this movie before watching this?
I only see really small parts because my kid watches it, but not really. I just think,
So
oh, he's a puppy.
yeah, no, that's not what this movie is like at all.
Yeah,
It's not like it's not like it's a mashup of two movies. It is a mashup of Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey,
yep,
and The Truman Show.
yep.
That sounds weird, I know, but it is, and that's all I can say about what this plot is. When this movie starts, it starts off with this big action scene with like even like Disney credits in it.
Yeah,
It's got the doing all that a Walt Disney Studios film kind of stuff, making it seem like this really intense action drama.
they're being like he and Penny are
Yeah,
trying to rescue her dad.
yeah,
Being
Yeah.
chased by, like goons and
yeah, and so Penny and Bolt are trying to save her dad, and Bolt is able to, run head first into things, and like he has like his super bark and super speed and
Right.
all of this stuff. And when all is said and done, after he does his super bark and brings down all of the AIM agents, then that's when you get like the, all right, that's the end of that scene.
Yeah.
It turns out that they were filming a movie the whole time. And Penny goes back to the trailer with Bolt, and Bolt is still on guard, still on edge, trying to protect her. This is where you end up meeting the director, or whatever. I don't know who that is, because he's not really. He doesn't feel like a film director in any way, shape, or form, or TV director in any way, shape, or form.
I don't know what the heck. Maybe producer. I don't know.
Yeah, producers tend to be the directors in TV and directors in film are completely different.
Right.
So usually it's the producer usually has sort of the directorial, especially the executive producer, tends to be have directorial control over the set than an actual director does. The director is just sort of there to to be there to make sure that shots are being filmed and framed right, and not really be the creative genius behind it.
Yeah. So he's the guy in charge.
Yeah, he's the guy in charge, and this is where you get your exposition dump of Bolt has the best like emotions of any like movie dog or pet or animal of all time, because he thinks it's real and they have to keep that illusion going, because that's the only way he can maintain his acting ability, if he thinks that Penny is in actual danger.
Hence the Truman Show.
The Truman Show, because after that, Penny has to go and he lives on set, which seems like an animal rights violation of some sort, like, because that implies that he's just going to be sitting alone in a trailer all weekend without anyone like looking after him.
Or walking him so he can go
him, giving him more food and water. It's not like there's some sort of Pee Wee Herman situation going on in there, like a Rube Goldberg machine that just like dispenses food and water for him. He's just
or
there.
even the Doc Brown thing for Einstein.
Yeah. It's just he just lives in this trailer alone and he has no idea. And so
home for the weekend, but
and so the Penny wants to take him home for the weekend, but the agent and the real just super obnoxious agent character is not letting this happen, and neither is the director. The director is never really a bad guy in this. He's just sort of doing his thing. He's just sort of there's no justice that happens to him, because there's nothing to really do justice to him for.
He's her comeuppance because no comeuppance need to be had.
Yeah, he's just got a bad sense of rights for animals.
Yeah.
He's not even particularly directly abusive. He's just like, all right, we just need to make sure this dog is in constant anxiety. That's great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Let's just make these lemons go off the cliff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a Disney movie. That's how this works. So Penny wants to take him home because he doesn't get to live the life of a real dog. He doesn't get to do real dog stuff. When she was trying to calm him down earlier, she was like, squeaky carrot, and that he had when she picked him up for the first time when she went to the pet store to get a dog.
Which never explained. Like, did she pick him out?
It certainly looks like it. It feels like there's a plot point missing from here about how she became, because you couldn't show that because it would disrupt the sort of flow of having it go from this cute scene of this girl getting a dog to the sort of misdirection of it being a superhero movie. Because if you showed like the mom being a stage mom kind of thing, and like, because it's just her dog that just gets kind of scooped up in this. Clearly, it just gets scooped up in the mom trying to make her daughter an actress,
right?
But it's like the mom is a sympathetic character in it. They never show her being like, she's just kind of a pushover, but she's not like no, you have to do this, you got to do this for mommy kind of thing, or living by
from Ferris Bueller's what she is.
She's
voice actress. That's what it is.
You never see her, but you never see her pushing her too hard. You see her being sympathetic. Like, she does want to take the dog home, but she knows she can't. She does want to do this stuff for her daughter, but they're too successful to just walk away from this. So she just sort of sits back and be sad about it. So there's this little subplot, or like at the very beginning, that has like the studio head coming in, like trying to do like, the audiences want this, that, and the other thing. And so he comes up with the cliffhanger idea for the show. It's a show. I keep saying movie, but it's definitely a TV show.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what they're going for with this show, because it seems like it should be like this, like it takes place in a cartoon world, because this show is definitely like a cartoon show, because there was absolutely never a show like this for any of us growing up.
Yeah, and also that show is way too big budget to.
Yeah, this like in 2008, this big budget Hollywood movie style TV show for children.
Right.
Because it's definitely just live action Inspector Gadget. I mean, it really is in this universe, just like, but it's real. So yeah, the show, like the closest show to that is like Wishbone, with like a dog doing things, and like
Wishbone was like a PBS show.
Yeah.
Which was super low budget.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. There was no show like this. There was nothing.
Explosions, like it's like a movie.
Yeah.
So it's like Game of Thrones, but still.
Yeah, before that sort of like prestige TV was really becoming a thing.
Yeah.
2008, really, it's like when you think about it, it's weird to think about that, because like 2008 is when we all started sort of making the move to digital content. Like 2008 is when Netflix was definitely like in it. It was starting its domination.
Yeah.
But I think by 2008, the DVD mailing situation was sort of on its way out. I think that's when they were starting to rebrand it. Remember, they were going to like switch. Netflix was going to be the streaming service, and then they like tried to rebrand the DVD mailing service, and everyone was like, are you stupid? That's just going to create more confusion. And like, okay, we're not going to do that. And then, but it didn't matter, because nobody was renewing their subscription to the DVD mailing service.
Because nobody wants to do DVDs.
Yeah. So we weren't quite at that prestige TV, because Netflix wasn't really doing original content at the time, and HBO was like as close as you could get to that kind of thing. Because 2008, I think Game of Thrones would have started around here, so maybe, but not a kids show.
Because I don't even think you could stream cable channels at the time. And maybe you could have, but I think you had to like there was no dedicated app. Like
Yeah,
go to our website with your your cable login, and maybe you
yeah,
can watch this
yeah.
thing.
Log in with your cable account, and usually it was like, please give us your like, account number so you can sign in, and maybe you can watch some FX or something, but it was
Yeah.
never like Food Network or something, but never like, it's not like now where it's just like, oh, you can just, oh, you want to watch football? Here you go.
Yeah. Like, hey, we like this show on Amazon has won an Emmy now.
Yeah.
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 It's like,
Yeah. Now we're at that era where everyone's trying to find the next, like, what's the next digital platform that's going to hook everyone? Like, we're in a Bolt coming to Quibi next. But,
yeah. It's like, you should. Yeah. It's weird to think about a time when we didn't have enough digital streaming platforms.
Yeah.
Now where it's like, hey, you want to pay money to watch CBS shows? No, I do not.
No. Why? Who would do that? And now, and now it's like, oh, there's a new. Oh, that's the only way I can watch this new Star Trek and the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, exactly.
So
what you're saying is, I'm going to pirate those shows. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, back then it was just like YouTube was a completely different monster in 2008, and
God, YouTube was just like dumb memes and
and a lot of just like video game nonsense that, I mean, it still is, but it was a completely different type of video game nonsense back then.
Like,
now everything's got production values and teams, and I mean, I pay for YouTube Premium. I'm like that one weirdo because like that's become my TV.
Yeah. Where you're like, I'm like, because you don't want the commercials.
I don't want commercials. So
you don't want commercials.
Like,
you want to build them offline too.
Yeah, I could download the stuff on my phone so I could watch it on the plane or something.
Right.
YouTube videos and what else? I like Peacock. I actually do like Peacock. Mostly because it has like 2 shows on it that I'm watching now. It's like, oh, I love Law and Order Criminal Intent, and I love the show House, so I can watch all of those with no commercial and nonstop all day. Here we go.
If somebody had told you 2008, there's going to be a digital streaming platform that has WWE content,
yeah,
and it's $10 a month,
and
you're not going to want it.
Yeah, 2008 in particular. Like what? Yeah, like, no, there's no way. I want that right now. What are you talking about? Give it to me. I signed up for Netflix when they launched the Xbox 360 app because that was like the first major app that lets you watch Netflix that wasn't, a phone or like a laptop. It was laptop stuff because even then phones weren't like commonplace.
Yeah, I think the iPhone 1 had just
Yeah, so like it's like I'm not gonna watch stuff on my laptop or my PC. My PC can barely run Counter-Strike. You think I'm gonna watch a movie on it? No. But yeah, the Xbox 360 app came out and it like changed everything. And now, here's Disney Plus where we watched Bolt on it in its entirety in 4K.
I watch it on my phone. I watch it on my phone. I sat here and put my headphones, put my AirPods in and watch it on my phone.
Yeah,
so,
it's great.
Yeah.
Disney Plus is genuinely a good deal. Disney has the content to back it up. So
my wife has gotten my Disney Plus money's worth just from watching Hamilton. Just from Hamilton.
I wish it was very fun that they're starting to put more and more of those like Walt Disney Presents shows on it. I really love those. I love those like old, like, I mean, I have some of them on DVD because they put out a couple of different sets with Walt Disney stuff on them, but not a lot. They didn't really put out, there's a lot of that content that's just sort of lost, or not lost, but not played. One of the sets that I have has one of like the Disneyland specials.
Mm-hmm.
Walt Disney filmed all of those in color in the 50s.
Mhm.
It's insane to think about. And so it actually has like, because a lot of it got lost, unfortunately, which is a huge bummer. But it exists and it actually plays one of the scenes. And it's kind of cool to see like this old 50s TV show in color, like straight color. It's cool.
It-
I wish they would put more of that kind of stuff, like lost archive stuff and things. So
It's basically when you if you remember the Iron Man 2 or even Iron Man 2 where you have Howard Stark doing the Stark Expo thing.
yeah,
It's spoofing that.
yeah, yes,
It's
yes.
very
It's very much doing Walt's Epcot speech.
yeah.
But yeah,
Bolt.
so anyways, Bolt. So he comes up with the idea of the cliffhanger. So we have this episode of the show where Penny gets kidnapped by this, MODOK. Caught in a cage, it gets taken away, and that's the cliffhanger of the episode. And so she gets taken off without Bolt. Bolt has to think that she's actually kidnapped. So Bolt's obviously losing his mind. She's losing her mind because she needs to let Bolt needs to know that I'm okay. He needs to know that I'm okay, and they won't let her go to him. And Bolt is on edge. They have the guy that has to like wear the full like bomb diffuser suit to get Bolt into the kennel.
The Wrangler.
And to get him into this trailer. We didn't talk about the cats. There's 2 cats that play the role of the like evil madman's pet cats, as it, just
Right.
real Blofeld kind of stuff. Because
Yeah.
because thanks to Blofeld, every egomaniacal madman has to have a cat that he can pet.
Like Dr. Claw, as
Dr. Claw, as we're talking about everything. So yeah, he's got 2. He's got, and they taunt Bolt through the window of his trailer. And they come back on this one after this goes down. They taunt him by pretending that they're in on it because they know that he thinks it's real.
Right.
So when they go back this time after he gets put into his little cage after Penny gets stolen, it's weird to say Penny because it sounds like I'm telling a joke every time. Like I'm an Inspector Gadget joke every single time, but no, it's their name's Penny. And so, the cats come to taunt him, have the window creeped open a little bit, and this gives Bolt the chance to break free and try to find Penny. And so this is where the movie sort of starts. This is Bolt going through this madcap series of unfortunate events that winds up with him being shipped to New York. Is it? He ends up in New York?
Yeah.
I mean, because, they're in Hollywood, finds himself in New York. So he has to get back home from there. But and keep in mind, Bolt still thinks he's a superhero dog. He thinks all of the powers that are happening on the set of the show he has. He's never known life outside of the studio. And he just wants to save his girl.
He's institutionalized like Brooks.
Yes.
I don't want to hang around. Everything's scary. I don't want to hang around anymore.
Yeah. So we have. So now this is where his adventure starts. He's got to try to find his way, find his girl, and who does he meet first? Does he meet the birds first?
He meets the birds first, who introduce him to
the cat.
Yes.
Which Rosie was it the cat's name? I forget now.
I always want to say Rita because it makes me of the cat from Animaniacs.
Yeah. Oh, it's just Mittens. I don't know why we think it's that. It's Mittens.
And then he meets the hamster who happens to be his biggest fan.
Yes.
In that trailer.
Yeah. So Mittens, the cat, is this sarcastic, sassy cat that's an alley cat. Yeah. And just sort of uses the birds around to get her food.
She threatens them.
Yeah, threatens them and everything. So when Bolt meets these birds, who try to pitch him an idea for the show because they know that he's in. Or was that later? Did they pitch him the show later?
No, I think it's different birds after
Yeah.
that, because
Yeah.
you're like, oh hey, we got this great idea. We're gonna we're
Yeah.
workshopping this thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, he needs to find. So this is where he's talking with the birds early, and this is where he comes up with the idea where he needs to find a cat, because the cats are the bad guys in his world.
Yeah.
So they don't like Rita, so they say like, oh, we know where's a cat. Yeah, I know, but you've done it to me. It's fun.
She looks like the Rita from Animaniacs.
Yes, she does.
Yep.
Very much so, like 3D version of Rita from Animaniacs.
Yep.
I'm sure your wife is thrilled that
It's a cat.
Yeah. Anyways, he basically kidnaps her.
Yeah.
Because she plays into it that that she knows the green-eyed man at one point, kind of thing. So he ends up kidnapping her and like handcuffing her to him.
Right.
Just like it really turns into a buddy cop, or not like a buddy cop, like a buddy road movie.
Yeah, it's the defiant one at some point.
Yeah. So like they end up at like a trailer park where they start like begging. She teaches him how to beg, use his puppy dog charm to get free food.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where they meet Rhino the hamster, who's his Bolt's biggest fan. It's funny to me to think that Bolt would be surprised that he knew who he was, because he doesn't know that he's a movie star or TV show star, but he is a dog with superpowers, so he would have to think that he's famous in some way, shape, or form. Like, you would be on the news. You would have to know that if you were really this. So you shouldn't be surprised when somebody knows who you are.
JD Bolt's a mark. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he is. And Rhino is a smark in this scenario.
It's like, oh, your work rate, that really episodes. You're my biggest fan. If Rhino could accost Bolt at the airport at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
for a really awkward candid photo.
He's gonna tweet at him ad nauseum.
Yeah.
If he could get a follow, look at this T-shirt of yours I bought.
This is a picture of Bolt with a duffel bag over his arm like this.
Yeah.
Rhino's like,
doing the too sweet.
It's like, I wasn't even NWO or Bullet Club. Why are you too sweet?
Yeah. And he paid the $400 for Bolt's
Bolt's your dad.
Yeah, Bolt's cameo.
God. Awkward.
But he's a big mark for Bolt. He even has the painted on lightning bolt that Bolt doesn't know is painted on him. I think Bolt has lightning bolt painted on his side, in case you haven't seen the movie, but you should have.
You think it's a birthmark or just a sign of... He thinks he's the Bat from The Natural.
Yeah, exactly. So now it becomes a 3-man road movie. There's kind of not a lot happens in the middle, does it? Like, it's just them kind of getting into adventures.
They travel the country without much incident.
Yeah, there's very little. The only the one time that there becomes a problem is when there's when they have the fight that always happens in these movies where somebody's lying,
Bull has the Buzz Lightyear revelation.
The revelation when it's like he's surrounded by billboards and stuff of himself, and realize, now
no sailing no more.
He is. It's just a shame that he doesn't have his "I'm Mrs. Nesbit" moment. Just.
Now, at that point, Rita or Mittens. Sorry, it's Mittens. She's taunting like, "All right, use your super bark. Go ahead, use it."
Yeah. I guess the one time there is, that's the one time there is sort of strife in their travels, is when he's barking at her in the tree to use his super bark, and that's when they get scooped up by animal control, because every movie about dogs and cats has to involve animal control at some point.
Right.
they have to imply that that these animals have a very real possibility of being euthanized at some point.
Right.
Keep in mind, Bolt has a dog tag and it never comes off.
Yeah.
So this guy scoops him up and throws him in there and then makes zero attempt to
Animal Control always portrayed as like just this terrible,
bumbling fat oafs.
Yeah, and meanwhile, me trying to like, hey, Animal Control, I saw somebody hit this cat. It's dying. Can you come get it?
Yeah.
We don't really do that.
Yeah.
Doesn't say anything. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. It's like our friend who had the rooster that wouldn't leave him alone for Animal Control. Like, what the hell you want us to do?
Yeah, it's not one of those Animal Planet shows where we just show up and like, oh, we're gonna harness this gator.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, that's a you problem.
Yeah, it's a you problem. Shoot it. I don't know. What do you want us to do?
Yeah. Oh, eat it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a chicken, basically. Just go.
We recommend eating it.
Yeah.
Well, I talked to my supervisor. He said,
yeah. Anyways, so yeah, but Bolt thinks he breaks them out, but then it turns out that it was Rhino.
Yeah.
That broke him out by just sort of smashing into it with his little hamster ball that he's in the whole movie.
Which is indestructible, by the way.
Yeah, that hamster ball, man. We need that's Captain America's shield.
Right. I think it's made of vibranium.
Yeah, it's pure vibranium.
I do like how they had little scratches and smudges on it as
it went on. Even Bolt got sort of increasingly dirty because he's a pristine white dog, but he becomes like slightly dirtier as the movie goes on, as they're traveling across the country, and it's very subtle, but it's really cool. But yeah, so they break out, and Bolt now starts to understand that he thinks that styrofoam peanuts are his kryptonite.
Right.
Because that's what was in the box, and then he lost his powers because that was when the shipping box, when Garfield taped him up and sent him to Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi, yes. After pushing him off a table.
Yeah. So Nermal then has this fight with Nermal shortly thereafter.
Yeah,
because
and the rat that lives on the wall that he refuses to eat.
Yeah. And the spider that he
got.
Yeah. And next up is the farmhouse cartoon.
Yeah,
we're gonna watch. Unfortunately, Home on the Range comes on midway in the middle of this.
Is Home on the Range the U.S. Acres of Disney?
No, because U.S. Acres was at least enjoyable somewhat.
I liked Wade. I like Wade
Yeah.
the dog.
Yeah. But so they get in a fight because like she clearly, the cat, not Rita,
Mittens,
Nermal, whatever. This is where you sort of get that sort of Jessie from Toy Story plot where you could tell that, she used to have a family, but now she doesn't, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like, why do you want to go back and why are you so desperate to find her? Like, look we're living a good life out here. You got a bed, you've got everything that you need. Let's just, do this together, kind of thing. And he's like, no.
Yeah. No one was she abandoned, but she was declawed before she was abandoned.
Yeah.
So her whole threat with the pigeons was empty, and so she had no defense mechanism, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have
extra terrible owners.
Yeah. So yeah, she had bad owners before that, and then left in the streets. But then so then that's when they separate, and he goes to find Penny. Let's back up a little bit to sort of the Penny part of this plot now, where they are replacing Bolt.
Yes.
The show needs to go on, and so here's new Bolt.
Yes.
So they keep trying to introduce new Bolt, and I do like the scene where she gets like excited, and then when she meets the new Bolt, she's like, "This isn't Bolt. What are you talking about?
This is a diesel Glenn Jacobs."
There we go. This is a really wrestling heavy episode this time around.
Yeah, it's fine. They all are though.
Yeah. But yeah, so you have so now let's catch back up where he finally makes his way back to the studio. And it's a very sweet scene where like he gets in, and then she starts doing the misdirection of running towards him, like, Bolt! And he starts running towards her. And then it's the other dog that she's coming towards. And that's when he has his sort of mental, depressive moment.
Did not realizing that they're filming a scene for the show.
Yeah, it's her like figuring out, like trying to, like working on her lines basically with the new dog.
Yeah.
And she's clearly not into it.
You're a good boy, Paul. Oh, God.
Then you have the sort of the climax of the movies. It was a very clever way of handling the sort of action set piece of this movie. How to actually have Bolt live out his life as a hero for once and actually do it. What?
So the set catches on fire.
The set catches on fire because the new dog is scared because you have all of these, goons and stuff trying to capture him and everything. And
he's a cowardly dog.
Yeah, and it's a cowardly, and it's a normal dog. It's not like Bolt, who's completely abnormal dog who is a protective dog, and this dog doesn't have that sense of protection towards Penny that Bolt does. So he freaks out, falls off set, and sets the studio on fire. Everyone gets out except for Penny and Bolt.
So the fact that the set is a death trap for children can only lead me to assume that John Landis was directing Bolt.
I mean, look, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Who do we say that? Oh yeah, James Lipton as the director.
Yeah.
James Lipton as.
John Landis kind of vaguely resembled John Landis.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get Vic Morrow in here and these kids. This helicopter. Fine.
The green-eyed man is that So this is his big time to like save her. It's actually a sweet little scene where he's like slowly dragging her and trying to get her, and she just kind of can't go on anymore.
Or smoking inhalation.
Yeah, and so they're, everyone's outside. Everyone can't find her, but they're stopped in front of a vent. And this is where you get, then he steps in for his super bark. He hears this echo coming out of this vent. So he does his bark into the vent to sort of replicate the super bark that he, it's always his ace in the hole, it's the bullet in the chamber is the super bark. And where that vent, that vent's in a weird place.
Yeah.
It's floor level and it's like a Mario pipe. It's like out, up, to the top, and out. And I don't see any fan. It's at floor level, and it's like I don't know what it's doing. What its purpose is.
You think for the purpose of a movie set, you wouldn't want that thing picking up ambient noise.
Yeah, the fact that it echoes and clearly doesn't have any sort of insulation or anything in it to sort of it's a
MacGuffin, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. It's there because it needs to be, and so that's when everyone finds out. They're there. They're fine, and the day is saved. And now there's a new Bolt, new TV series with a new actress that they do the whole like, you've had cosmetic surgery, so he'll never know who you are.
And he gets Aunt Viv'd.
Yeah.
She gets Aunt Viv'd.
Yeah. And now, but it's, they live happily ever after. Normal, Bolt, and the Rhino and
Rhino. What a family! What the hell happened there?
Yeah. Rhino just said, "I'm out of here. See you guys. You've got plenty of other hamsters. I'm out." Yeah. And so they live happily ever after. Her mom, Bolt, everyone on what seems to be just a farm in the middle of nowhere.
Bought with the sweat from her child.
Yeah, I would assume the lawsuit where they almost killed her child. So, yeah, that was definitely a lawsuit. Yeah, like you created this death trap with this dog that had no business being on set. So,
your career is over, sir. Oh wait, you're going to make trading places, and I'm coming to America.
Yeah.
sorry. It should be joking about it. It was a terrible thing that happened.
Yeah.
But how that man still had a career is baffling to me.
Not only did he have a career, he got to have a multi-generational career with his son trying to.
Who is almost as terrible a person. I mean, at least he never murdered anybody. He's not
that we know of. I mean,
you can totally see that dude killing somebody though.
Yeah.
Intentionally.
Yeah, intentionally. It's yeah. So that's Bolt, and we skipped over some things, but for the most part, that's the plot of Bolt. It's Homeward Bound meets Truman Show. It's fun. It's fine.
It's like I said. I guess the problem is like we were talking about. It doesn't feel like a Disney movie, so I never felt really engaged in it.
Yeah,
you know, I'm just kind of passively watching it.
Yeah, it's just a road movie. It's like, you know, it's not too far removed from any of those, like, you know, 40s and 50s like Road to Morocco or whatever, where it's just like
Hope and Crosby.
Yeah, because like they're good, they're fun, they're funny movies, but like you don't remember what the movies were ever really about. Like if it weren't for the fact that it had the hook, the Truman Show hook in it, none of us would remember this movie. No. Like it would just been Homeward Bound, but with a celebrity dog.
Yeah,
which it still is, but you know,
right.
I mean, it's not that far removed from being Homeward Bound.
Yeah,
it's the reverse of Homeward Bound 2, Lost in San Francisco. They got to return to Southern California.
It's Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
Yes. There we go.
Yeah, again, it's just, you know, it's. I think we've come to the point where some of these movies, like, there are some who are like they're objectively bad. They're just bad, but we're also some where like it just kind of exists and it's fine, and I don't have a problem with it, but it doesn't do anything for me. So it's fine.
Yeah. So this movie's original title was American Dog.
So like that really the amazing story is short.
Yeah, I guess. It was originally a Chris Sanders feature who did like Lilo and Stitch and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so the original dog was named Henry, a TV star.
Okay.
Hank Jones Jr. He gets stranded in the Nevada desert. And his cohorts in it are a one-eyed cat and an oversized radioactive rabbit.
Huh.
Yeah. But the same concept is they're trying to find new lives together, but Henry thinks that he is still in a TV show. So
it sounds like Rango, kind of.
A little bit. But then 2006 happens, and this is when the Lasseter era of Disney starts. And remember what happened when Lasseter took over. A lot of stuff got changed. A lot of stuff got canceled. A lot of stuff got moved around.
Or there are going to be sequels. I forgot what it was.
It was the plan. Yeah, they didn't want. It was a sort of because there really aren't sequels to Disney movies. There's a couple, but not very. Like we're at the sequel stage now that Lasseter is gone. Yeah, but they were cutting out the
Frozen 2.
Yeah, we were cutting out the straight to market stuff. They were low budget, and there was nothing there. And you have 2 animation studios running at full bore. You don't need to have this like, you know, C-class Disney Toon animation studio doing garbage. Yeah. Which most of it was garbage. Like if it wasn't for like a Goofy movie, most of their output would have just been all of the like, you know, Cinderella 3, Pocahontas 2, you know, that kind of nonsense.
Right.
But they saw test screenings of it and hated it. And they fired Sanders because he wouldn't make any changes. And so after they sort of did that, They said, all right, well, you guys have 18 months to finish this movie. We're not extending the production time of it at all, so get it done. Which is which is important because at the time it took 4 years to make an animated film on CG using computers. So they had to make this movie in 18 months. So
Not a long time for any movie, honestly.
for any movie, but all things considered, that's pretty good for an 18-month movie.
Yeah.
Like it does. There was no part of it where I felt like it looked bad.
No, it looks like I said,
it looks like a Pixar movie from a couple of years ago. Like
right.
It doesn't look like what Pixar was putting out in 2008. It looks like what Pixar was doing in 2003, 2004.
Right. And it probably
they're doing their best.
And like I said, they probably was like, hey, we could just get Miley Cyrus because we already got her. Let's just have her do the girls' part.
Yeah.
Like, John Travolta,
we're at 2008 John Travolta, where he's the second wave of his career is over.
Sure.
Yeah, and 2008. So Old Dogs,
yeah,
and like that era of John Travolta. That was it Lucky Numbers, that weird lottery movie or something that he was in and stuff. Yeah.
And he was probably the worst part of that Punisher movie.
Yeah.
He was the worst part of that movie.
Kevin Nash was the best part, right? Like that's the Russian.
He wasn't the worst part.
He got his hair cut just for that role. He lost to Chris Jericho, remember? Yeah. Apparently the plastic ball in the movie is modeled directly after the plastic ball that Lasseter's pet chinchilla had. So
of course Lasseter had a chinchilla.
Yeah. Siri thought chinchilla was me asking her a question for some reason.
Look, man, I don't know what kind of weird stuff you got.
Yeah.
Hey, chinchilla.
Yeah. And Bolt is basically an American White Shepherd. So, mostly. There's a little bit of other stuff in there, but
he looks like Bolt kind of looks like Brian from Family Guy a little bit.
Yeah. This song does have a
my wife loved that song, by the way.
What was that?
She loved the song, the Rio Kelly song.
Yeah.
She loved it.
The Jenny Lewis song, "Barking at the Moon." It was a good song. I like that song. The Miley Cyrus John Travolta song.
Oh God.
I Thought I Lost You was actually nominated for Best Original Song at the Golden Globes. Nominated.
Yeah, crazy.
Motorhead has a song on the soundtrack. Yeah, it does not appear on the actual soundtrack. If you buy the soundtrack, there's no Motorhead song on the soundtrack.
Yeah. Like, oh, it's White Line Fever because of White Dog.
Yeah. So yeah, I liked "Barking at the Moon." That was a good song. I like that. Let's see. Bolt came out in the United States November 21st, 2008. Beginning its 4th week in theaters, the film was accompanied by Tokyo Mater, a short Pixar Cars. It's funny that they added that during its 4th week. Just like a real cheesy way of bumping up its revenue at the box office.
That would make me not want to go see it again.
Yeah. Hey guys, if you go see Bolt again, you get to see a new cartoon short starring Larry the Cable Guy. Hey, how dare you say that to me? Don't you ever?
The Prilus, that guy.
Yeah. Oh man, this was also released in 3D, but so was everything in 2008.
Yeah,
I think Avatar was 2008, wasn't it?
I don't know. Maybe. I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
I've heard
Critical reception for it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Critics loved it. It's at 89% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh.
Because there's nothing offensive about it. It's not great, but that doesn't mean it's bad.
No.
So, and a lot of this is the kind of movie where you will rate it and say, like, I mean, the target, a Disney movie's target audience isn't supposed to be kids.
No.
But sometimes you're just going to make a movie where the target audience is kids, like Cars. As Toy Story's target audience is everyone. Cars' target audience is children. And it's
everybody. So
yeah, it succeeds. And Bolt is definitely a kids targeted movie, but I think it's enjoyable enough to where an adult won't hate themselves for watching it. It's not going to become any adult's favorite movie.
Yeah.
It definitely can be a kid's favorite movie because kids, it's a cute dog and he's got some funny stuff going on because of the whole lost in a strange world.
Yeah,
yeah.
But I don't remember much merch now that I think about it. Do you?
I mean, there was. It wasn't. We'll get to that in a minute. I'm gonna look it up and see exactly what kind of stuff there was. So this film, when it opened at number 3.
Okay.
It was behind Twilight.
Okay.
And Quantum of Solace.
I would rather watch Bolt than either one of those movies.
So,
what's funny is
so
I actually took when my wife and I were dating. We actually went to Quantum of Solace when it opened.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, and
I definitely saw Quantum of Solace when it opened too.
and that was.
I like it more now that all of the movies are out. Basically,
I drink the motor oil.
Yeah, I think it's better now that there's kind of more movie, but as a second movie after Casino Royale, that's absolutely miserable. It's like when they brought the X-Files back for that one movie.
Right.
And it's just its own weird standalone thing that doesn't build on any mythology or anything. And it's just like, this is your big return. It's just a generic episode of the X-Files pumped out for a movie. I don't think it's bad, but it's absolutely terrible to be a revival for the franchise. What are you thinking?
It didn't help that Quantum of Solace was okay. I mean, I know you said it's better in retrospect, but you think about what we're talking about how Skyfall is one of my favorite.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah.
Not just Bond movies, but I love Skyfall as a movie.
Yeah. Oh, and I love the theme song to Skyfall too.
The theme song. It's a great plot. And it's just good.
And Quantum of Solace on the flip side is 90 minutes and came out and was made during that writer's strike.
Yes, the writer's strike that killed Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have this.
And it killed Rescue Me too, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. Apparently, during its second weekend, it actually rose up. It was the number 2 movie that year, but it was behind the movie Four Christmases,
which I also saw with my then girlfriend, now wife.
The Vince Vaughn, Reese Witherspoon Christmas movie.
Yeah, we saw that movie, but we didn't see. We saw everything but Boland's house.
Let's see. So. Worldwide, $310 million. So there you go. Boy, it was nominated for everything, but unfortunately, this was a big year for animation. So we'll get to that later. So I guess, I'm going to look up. I better type in. I should type in Disney's Bolt, not just Bolt merchandise. That's not going to get me anything that I want to look.
God, these are armbands with lightning bolts on them. Oh God, no.
Yeah. Disney's Bolt merchandise. Let's see if I just go to images. Let's see if there's anything. There's like a little rhino and a ball.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
A lot of plushes, obviously.
Yeah.
There's a pin, some bedspread. All right. Absolutely.
In that area where it's like, you made it when you got a comforter. Oh, kind of adorable, actually. That's kind
Uh,
of cute.
You can't see that, but I just showed the costumed character of Bolt. That was clearly at the theme parks.
That's actually kind of. He's actually kind of cute.
It's kind of cute, but at 100% it's just a fursuit.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
I mean, there's a market for that now, though.
Yeah. Disney
Yeah.
could probably really cash in on that if they wanted to.
Sure, they could.
Oh, there's a Bolt Vinylmation. Oh, they actually made a chew toy of the carrot.
Ah,
That's smart. That's
Yeah.
smart. That's there's a storybook. I can get a on Redbubble. I can get a Bolt mask. So
why not? That's like, why do you have a?
Yeah, that looks like.
Why
Yeah, it
Bolt?
definitely looks like it was just plush merchandise. Was there like a Bolt kids meal? Seems like
There
that would be a
was.
kids.
Looking at it right now. Disney McDonald's. Maybe not.
It doesn't look like it. I mean,
What am I looking at then? Did they not have a freaking half meal?
it doesn't look like it.
Wow.
But to be fair, there was other stuff going on this year, so that probably would have had Happy Meal premiums.
Did it get the Burger King meal?
I mean, I just typed in Disney Bolt Kids Meal. That didn't bring up anything, so I didn't even type in Happy Meal. I just typed in Kids Meal. So,
Like, sorry, you're getting a Hardee's.
oh, there's the Disney Bolt Disney Infinity disc.
So there was a Disney Bolt Disney Infinity.
Yeah, I don't think there's a figurine, but it looks like there was one of those like power up discs that you would slap down to get.
He was a Smash Bros. Assist.
Yeah. So I guess we got to get into it. Our usual, typical big three. Nick, was there a video game?
Most assuredly, it was a video game.
Oh, absolutely, there was a video game. Several. Let's see.
Wii. I want to say.
Yeah, it was made by.
THQ?
No, a studio called Avalanche, which you may have heard of.
I might have heard of Avalanche too. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely did, because they're the ones that made Disney Infinity. So, Avalanche Studios, they were the ones that ported Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 to the Genesis and Super Nintendo.
They did a terrible job.
Yeah, they did the Mortal Kombat Trilogy for the PlayStation. They did Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero Mythologies for the Nintendo 64.
Boy, that's not a great track record.
Let's see. Talk and the Power of Juju. Dragon Ball Z Sagas. They did the Chicken Little game.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. They did 25 to Life. They did the Meet the Robinsons game. They did the Toy Story 3 game, which is actually a pretty good game. It was well known because it had a toy box mode, which was very clearly the inspiration going forward for Disney Infinity.
Right.
And Disney Infinity came out like 3 years later. So it was basically Toy Story 3 was basically the beta for Disney Infinity. The last game that they did was Cars 3 Driven to Win, and that actually you can actually buy that on the Switch. So
no, I'm good.
Yeah. I think they still exist, but who knows what they're doing these days. And they're owned by Warner Brothers now, so they could be doing almost anything. And Warner Brothers is on the verge of selling itself to was it Warner Brothers is going to be sold to somebody, or Warner Brothers was going to buy somebody? I can't remember.
Well, I mean, I know a lot of the Cartoon Network stuff's on HBO Max now.
Yeah.
That's Time Warner, so yeah. Yeah.
They used to be Sculptured Software, which was Acclaim. All of the
Clayfighter,
yeah. So
what you're saying is we're going to get Looney Tunes Infinity?
Yes. So yeah, there was that video game, and there was also a iOS game called like Rhino Ball. That was,
like Super Monkey Ball, probably.
Probably, if I had to guess. Let's look and see. Let's see what it says. Oh boy. Okay, lost it. There we go. A third game, Rhino Ball, was released as an application on the Apple's App Store. Cool, thank you. explains everything. I appreciate it, jerks. Yeah, it just looks like Rhino Ball is just there's no information on it anymore. The website doesn't exist anymore.
Rhino Ball Z.
Nick, was there a sequel?
No.
No, not even any rumor of a sequel. So, I mean, there was technically, if you include the short film that we talked about earlier.
Right.
Those don't really count. And theme park.
Not that I'm aware of. I'm going to say no.
No, outside of that costumed character that I showed you earlier. So that's, well, no lasting legacy on the Disney lineage here.
Yeah. Disney had after 2008, stuff started to change for Disney, like not just animation wise, but like, we're going to acquire some licenses. Yeah.
Keep in mind, Disney releases a relatively significant film in the overall history of film this very same year.
Yeah.
So, which let's just get into it now. 2008, highest grossing film of 2008. Do you know what they are?
Is Iron Man?
It's in there. It's definitely not the highest grossing movie of 2008.
Quantum of Solace.
Not quite. Number 1, The Dark Knight.
Yep.
So almost made $1 billion.
That makes sense. Well, I'm now remembering, like, I went to see a bunch of damn movies in 2008.
Oh, 2008 is a massive year for film.
Yeah, I saw a lot of Tropic Thunder.
Yeah. Number 2, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
And I can't stress this enough.
Okay, that's all we needed. Number 3, Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
So that was a huge release that year. That was probably the one that got the major Happy Meal cross branding. Number 4, Hancock.
I like Hancock.
The Will Smith superhero movie. Number 5, Mamma Mia.
Well, why?
Nothing. Okay, I was gonna say
Abba's fun.
Yeah, it was fine. Number 6, Madagascar 2, Escape. Oh wait, it's Madagascar Escape to Africa. So
it's the 5th Madagascar that we're playing.
Yes, Madagascar 2 3D. Number 7,
Madagascar 2 forever.
Yeah. Number 7, Quantum of Solace.
Yeah, I can't believe that movie's in the top 10. You really can't.
Number 8, Iron Man.
Yeah, buddy.
I mean, this is when Iron Man was still being Disney. It was Paramount. Disney owned Marvel at this time. Put together the Marvel Studios thing, but released this stuff through Paramount. So there's still some, because like the Hulk is still tied up in all that nonsense. Yeah. But like everything else is free.
And Hulk came out that same year as well.
Was it this year or was it the next year?
2009.
2008?
2008, yeah.
Okay.
It's so crazy to think about Iron Man coming out 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Where you're like, man, I hope this does well so they make more of these.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait, you give us that tease at the end of Iron Man, you're like, oh, come on, don't do this to me.
Hey, I can't. Also had the rest of the guys in it.
It's like, oh man, he just said the Avengers. Man, could you imagine a Thor movie? Could that even work? Could they even do Thor? Who's gonna buy a Thor movie?
Triple H gonna be Thor? I heard he might be Thor.
Yeah. And then like not only do they pull it off, but they pull it off and also bring like D-list heroes to the mainstream, which is still like the craziest thing in the world to me. Like,
yeah.
Like they were able to do what like the comic books never really could do, and that's make characters like Star-Lord and Falcon like these A-list heroes.
Yeah, it's like if someone said to me, "Hey, you're going to be really invested in Groot."
Yeah, it's because remember when they announced they were making a Guardians of the Galaxy movie, that particular team had only existed for like a couple of years because the Annihilation event started like this year, 2008.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and that's when that Guardians of the Galaxy were introduced, was during the Annihilation event.
Right.
So that's when the Guardians of the Galaxy basically were, that as the mass knows them, were created, because the Guardians of the Galaxy was a previous team, but they were a future team that was a cosmic team, and like some weird stuff was going on there.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, and that was the whole thing. Was like, oh man, that's where it's gonna go south.
Yeah, you're making like
movie.
To me, it was like, I can't wait to see this movie because I liked Annihilation and I like that crew, but nobody's gonna go see this. This is too weird. It's a tree and a raccoon.
I saw it twice in theaters.
Oh yeah, it was. That's that movie. That Guardians of the Galaxy is what flipped my dad on that franchise.
Yeah.
After he saw Guardians of the Galaxy, it was just like, I actually need to watch all of these. Like, this is a great movie, and he saw that. He still watches that one all the time.
It's a good. It is probably the top 2 or 3 of the MCU movies.
Yeah, I absolutely adore Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's so crazy to still think about Iron Man just coming out 2008. Like, oh man, they're really taking it. Like Robert Jr. just took that.
Yeah.
He was a piece of he was with the cut of the merchandise by the box office.
Yeah, it was so funny because remember, there was like, everyone was just like, well, here comes Disney. They're pulling out the C Squad, because like at the time, X-Men and Spider-Man were, kings of the box office. Spider-Man 2 was one of the highest grossing movies of all time, and the X-Men franchise was almost a decade old by this point.
Right.
And so everyone's just like, ugh, they're just dusting off the has-been heroes like Iron Man. Nobody's cared about Iron Man in at least 30 years.
Yeah, like you wouldn't care about this rich guy in a suit.
Yeah.
Like,
and
I can't. We cut to a couple last year. People, like, sobbing in the damn theater.
Yeah,
when he dies.
Yeah, so good. And Iron Man 1, I just like.
I love Iron Man 1.
I just went back to that one again, and it holds up so well. It's still really good, and it still looks good. Yeah. Anyways, that's number 8. Number 9, Wall-E.
Wally's great, man.
Wally's
great. So good.
And number 10 is the Narnia Prince Caspian movie.
The Chronic what?
The Chronic. Yeah, you almost got me there. So Dark Knight was close to like beating Titanic.
It was like, hey, it's your comic book movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what it is.
Let's see.
We ever pirated, by the way, it's Dark Knight.
I know. Do you want to know what the first movie I ever like stole from the internet is? You're never gonna guess it in a million years.
Give me a hint. Was it before or after this year?
Oh, way before this year.
Let
me. You know what? I'm gonna look it up.
I was gonna say Song of the South. Roger Corman's Fantastic Four.
I mean, technically, I did buy that DVD at a comic book store. The movie came out in 2001. The first movie I ever bootlegged came out in 2001, and I would have downloaded it in 2001 to let you know like where I was, and I had cable internet in 2001.
What would have been? Or was
Freddy got fingered.
Yeah.
The Tom Green solo film of 2001.
Technically, I didn't pirate Dark Knight. Our mutual friend Lisa pirated it and sent it to me.
You know what? I 100% remember that story.
Yeah.
That's great.
That sounds like some Lisa thing, though.
Yes. Okay, so best picture of the year. What do you think? It was pretty unanimous across the board.
Oh God,
it was not in the top 10.
What won best picture? Poop. Because I remember Ledger won for best supporting actor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I don't know. I'm blanking.
Slumdog Millionaire.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
It won best director that year too for Danny Boyle. Sean Penn won for Milk at the Academy Awards.
Wasn't Robert nominated for Tropic Thunder?
I think so, but I think it was like support. It was like support, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Also, but at the BAFTA Awards, Mickey Rourke won for The Wrestler.
That's a good movie, man. Not a feel-good movie.
No.
Starring Marissa Cat Miller.
Yes. I need to look and see. Let's see. Academy Awards. Oh, the In Memoriam section is in there. Bernie Mac died.
That's sad.
Yeah, Michael Crichton.
Oh, that one's bumming me out.
Yeah, now I'm sad. Now we're just going to talk about Isaac Hayes.
Dude.
Paul Newman.
What the heck? Oh, so Paul Newman is probably one of my favorite actors of all time.
Oh, Stan Winston died too that year.
Dear God, please stop.
Yeah, okay. This has really bummed me out.
I don't like that any of these people died.
Yeah.
Then of course Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
The guy from A Knight's Tale, which is still my favorite Heath Ledger movie.
There were 3 movies nominated for Best Animated Feature that year at the Academy Awards. It was Wall-E, Bolt, and Kung Fu Panda, and of course Wall-E won.
Which it should have, because it was the best movie of the 3.
Yes.
And absolutely. It's still a fantastic film.
Yeah. I just like looking at the other stuff.
Makes me think of Fred Willard now. Now I'm sad.
Yes. So yeah, 2008. I wonder if there's anything else significant that came out this year, other than what we've talked about. That's what we like to talk about on here.
Yeah, 4 Christmases we've discussed.
There we go. In the Name of the King, the Uwe Boll's A Dungeon Siege Tale.
Yeah, good old Uwe Boll.
The Pirates Who Don't Do Anything, a VeggieTales movie.
Dear God.
Cloverfield.
Yeah, there we go. There's a movie.
Oh man, Teeth came out this year. Did you ever see Teeth?
I've seen the box art for Teeth.
What's the woman in the bathtub?
Yeah.
Hey, I couldn't tell you what that movie's plot is about on this podcast, this G-rated podcast.
Yeah.
She has teeth in a bad place where you don't want teeth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just go with it.
Yeah. Meet the Spartans. Nobody cares. Oh, Rambo.
Okay. You know what? That Rambo was all right.
Yeah, that Rambo's fine. Untraceable. Hannah Montana and Miley Cyrus, Best of Both Worlds concert.
Oh, God. Oh, God. It gave me a terrible flashback. So in 2008, I was working 2 part-time jobs, one of which was at Toys R Us.
Oh yeah.
And I was in charge of stocking the girls section, and there was a Hannah Montana TV that they would sell, and it played this same thing on a clip, and it was the best of both worlds.
Oh, there you go.
And they would play it on a loop every 45 seconds. So I just had the best of both worlds.
Yeah. Well, you're welcome for that. You're welcome for that.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Jumper came out this year. Remember Jumper?
Yeah, I do. Jumper's not a bad movie.
One of the last Hayden Christensen movies.
Yeah, that's fine. I hate Jumper.
Spiderwick Chronicles. Step Up to the Streets. Diary of the Dead. Charlie Bartlett. U2 3D.
U2 3D forever. I get it.
Yeah. Vantage Point, Witless Protection, Larry the Cable Guy and Jenny McCarthy.
Oh my God, that sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, it does.
What the hell is that?
The Other Woman, Penelope, Semi-Pro, the Will Ferrell basketball movie.
That's when he's on the downslope of
Yeah.
I still like Will Ferrell and stuff. That's kind of the end of that.
10,000 BC, one of Roland Emmerich, a classic Roland Emmerich film.
Yeah.
Just meets all of his criteria.
Schlock.
The Bank Job, starring Jason Statham,
Yep.
which I just got for $6 on Blu-ray with 5 other Jason Statham movies.
Which Which, to be fair, is the only way the Jason Statham movie should be distributed.
It's got Crank 1 and 2, which is well worth the $6, but then they throw in everything else. Is just like, it's got the Transporter 3, which is like not even like 1 or 2, just Transporter 3.
You might as well throw in like the 1 since he's technically in it.
Let's see. Doomsday. Dr. Seuss's Horton Hears a Who.
I don't remember that movie coming out at all.
I definitely do, and it was Jim Carrey and Steve Carell were in it.
Okay,
Like it had a huge. It was like Will Arnett, Seth Rogen, all these like Jonah Hill, like all of those, Amy Poehler. Like it was just all these comedy. It was fine. It's Horton Hears a Who, and does it fine. It's one of the better adaptions of that stuff.
Yeah.
The Funny Games remake. Drill Bit Taylor.
With Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
But he was still a thing.
Yeah. Run, Fat Boy, Run.
Oh, Fat Boy Run's not bad.
Yeah.
That's fine. 7 pay.
Leatherheads. Nim's Island. Prom Night.
Wait, was that the remake of Prom Night?
Yes, that would have been the remake of Prom Night.
The remake of hey.
Yeah. It's
why would you remake Prom Night?
They do that all the time where they take these old movies, like when they did like My Bloody Valentine
and Black Christmas
that they just did and stuff, where they take like, that's a good idea. What if we did it but completely different? So we alienate the people who are fans of this BS, who won't go see it, and then we also won't make it interesting enough to bring the other people in to see it. So
I would argue Prom Night was a dark comedy in a way.
Yes.
The original. I'm telling you, JJ, we're going to get a remake of Sleepaway Camp. It's going to happen.
Oh, it's going to happen. And it's going to be so poorly received because it's going to be incredibly transgressive.
Yeah.
And they're not going to be subtle about it. Like, in the original Sleepaway Camp, you don't know until the very, very, very end. But in the new one, it will be telegraphed from moment one. And there will be jokes constantly throughout the movie. And it'll just be...
And it'll be flashbacks. Yeah.
88 Minutes came out this year.
That's
Forbidden Kingdom. Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
It's the one with what's the guy's name? Dude from How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, Jason Segel.
Yeah, I like him. He's fun.
The Muppets guy.
Yeah, he's fun.
Yeah, he's fine. Baby Mama, Deal. Boy, just Harold and Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay.
Oh, that's right.
Iron Man. Never heard of that.
It's about the Black Sabbath song.
Speed Racer. Speed Racer came out this year.
All right, go ahead.
I'm a massive supporter of Speed Racer. It's the best Wachowski movie, and I will fight anyone.
I wish I had as much passion for a lot of things as you do for the Speed Racer movie.
It's so good. It's the only movie that could ever be described as a live action cartoon. It is.
You unapologetically love that movie.
Yeah, and people have turned around on it completely throughout the years. Like, there is a ravenous fan base for it these days.
It's John Goodman's Pops Racer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's one of the most brilliant casting decisions of all time.
Yeah.
It's the only person that could be Pops Racer, honestly.
Yeah.
War Inc. Let's see. Sex and the City, the movie.
Oh, that's my favorite right there.
There you go. Kung Fu Panda, we already talked about that. You Don't Mess with the Zohan.
Oh, God.
The Happening.
Yeah, buddy.
That's actually, if you come across that movie if you watch it as a comedy, it's actually very good.
Yeah.
Because everyone's even sort of playing it as a comedy. And like, Mark Wahlberg's definitely sort of playing it as a comedy.
Well, but it's also Mark Wahlberg's a bad actor. Sorry, don't tell your dad I said that.
Incredible Hulk. There we go.
Okay, no, stopping here.
Okay.
Stopping here. Look, I know Ed Norton's a tool.
Yeah.
But he did a fine job.
He did.
Liv Tyler's hot, dude. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I can't deny that. It's I like that movie. I'm just gonna say that. Like,
I did too. I love it.
I don't think it's definitely one of the weaker of the MCU movies,
It is.
but it's not the weakest by a long shot.
Not
I would
dark.
rather watch it over Thor 2 and Iron Man 2.
Well, because like the Incredible Hulk is my favorite comic book character ever.
Yes.
And I was really nervous going to that movie after the
Ang Lee.
Ang Lee film,
Yeah.
which made me sad. It made me sad.
When you left that movie, the end credits theme to the old Hulk TV show started playing.
Actually, I left the movie. I was like, well, the good news is because of this movie, we got the Hulk Classics line.
Yeah.
Which was the best, which is the best result of it. My wife and also quote the Incredible Hulk movie often where you go, "Moss stretchy." Before you start to buy pants from those people in South America. Moss stretchy.
Boy, this is only the summer. Wow.
Yeah, it was weird that you had two of them the same year. Iron Man and Hulk.
Like two of them in the same year and like a month and a half apart.
Do you remember? Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say because Hulk came out in June and Iron Man was like April, May.
Yeah. I remember like there was originally an Easter egg with Cap's shield and the Incredible Hulk, and they
yeah. But they did put Tony Stark in there at the end, so
yeah. Which is a good cameo.
Yeah, and they brought Thunderbolt Ross back later on, which was very nice.
They did, yeah.
But
not like the Red Hulk.
Yeah, yet. I would love to see him in that role.
I want to see William Hurt as
Red Hulk. Tell me you would not just absolutely eat that up.
If it means more Hulk movies, absolutely.
Yeah. Let's see. Get Smart. The Get Smart movie came out this year.
The Rock's in that?
Yeah, it was. But it starred Steve Carell and The Rock's in it. Yeah. Yeah. Love Guru.
Oh God, that's that Mike Myers movie.
Myers movie. That was like his last movie.
And they let him do another movie after Cat in the Hat.
Yeah. Let's see. Wall-E came out.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Starring who? Fred Willard, John Ratzenberger. What? Sigourney Weaver.
What?
Wanted came out the same day as Wall-E. I don't like Wanted. I like it. I like the comic was a big deal. It's a Mark Miller movie. I was told I always thought it was Mark Millar.
It looked like it should be Mark Millar.
It is not. Even he my comic book store guy even said like it's apparently Miller. He pronounces it Miller. It's supposed to be Millar. You just look at it. It's Millar. It's not. It's Miller.
So is it Frank Millar then? We've been we've
been calling him wrong the whole time.
Frank Millar. Yeah. Frank Millar loves Asian women.
Yeah, so the Wanted movie and the Wanted comic could not be further apart from one another.
I will. It's called League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
No, like even that one at least even follows the concept a little closer than Wanted. Like Wanted is like there's superheroes and they're a supervillain team that are like and stuff. This one's just like, oh, we're in a league of assassins that get our hits given to us from a divine loom.
Yeah.
And that's not a joke. There's a giant loom that prints out the hits and they can't defy it. Starring James McAvoy and Morgan Freeman.
It's that's the one where the clip of him sweating profusely at the desk.
Yeah, and him hitting Chris Pratt with a keyboard.
Yeah. You learn to curve bullets.
Chris Pratt and James McAvoy are in this like two future comic book two future comic book powerhouses to join forces before that happens.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hancock came out.
I like Hancock.
Yeah, Hancock's fine. Hellboy 2, The Golden Army.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's disappointing. I love Guillermo del Toro movies, but Hellboy 1's great. This one's just fine.
It's more Ron Perlman though, so there's that.
Yeah. Can't ever agree with that. Hey, Meet Dave came out this year.
That's also Steve Carell?
No, that's Eddie Murphy.
I don't remember this one.
Oh man, it was definitely one of those like, okay, we need to stop with Eddie Murphy. I think it's the one where I don't know if you've ever seen the like meme of like the giant Eddie Murphy head being towed on a flatbed truck down the freeway. Like,
yeah,
yeah, it's like
it's from that.
Yeah,
okay,
because it's got like a sci-fi spin to it, kind of thing. It's Ed Helms is in it, in case you're curious. It came out just a week before The Dark Knight.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah. So on the same day, here are the 3 movies that came out the same day: The Dark Knight, Mamma Mia, and Space Chimps.
Well,
yeah.
Clearly, Space Chimps, one of the best, most renowned movies of all time.
Yeah. Andy Samberg's tour de force performance as the animated space monkey. Stanley Tucci is in it. I like a good Tooch movie.
Yeah. Tucci's in a lot of stuff, though.
Yeah. Step Brothers.
Step Brothers is. I love Step Brothers.
Yeah.
That's
a great movie. It's genuinely great.
It's less to do with Will Ferrell than
John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly is absolutely underappreciated, and he is so good and so funny. He has such a good delivery on everything that he does. Even in Guardians of the Galaxy, he's great.
Yeah, well, it gets overlooked now. I think people are starting to discover it now, but like Walk Hard is legit.
Yeah, Walk Hard's great.
It's legitimately hilarious.
Yes.
Get out of here, Dewey.
Also, the same day as Step Brothers was X-Files, I Want to Believe.
No, you don't. You don't want to believe.
Yeah. One of the things, the one thing I remember most of all from that movie is they make a joke and then they like look at a picture on the wall of George W. Bush and the X-Files theme plays. So, yeah.
Oh, that's right, because he was still president when this came out.
2008. So, I saw, you know where I saw that movie?
At IMAX?
Downtown Disney, baby.
Oh.
I saw 2 movies that day. I saw, because my parents went to Palm Desert to meet my uncle, and I'm like, I'm not going to Palm Desert. I'm sorry. I'm just not. I'm going to stay behind and check on the dogs, going to check them into the kennel, and then I didn't have a Disney ticket. I didn't have a ticket to get to the theme parks. So I'm going to go to the movies. So I saw Dark Knight for the second time, and X-Files, I Want to Believe. So
one of those was a good choice.
Yeah. I don't know why I saw Batman again. No, I'm kidding. So yeah, X-Files, saw that at Disneyland. But the one thing I remember is I left my hat in the theater after it, and I had to run back inside because I recognized it later. It's like, oh shit, I left my hat in there. I just swore. Damn. Oh well. Not a big deal.
1 minute 47 seconds, or 1 hour 47 seconds. JJ said a curse.
Said a no swearing. But I remember going back in, and what was playing on the screen was the next movie that came out, The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. Sitting there looking at that for a couple of minutes, like, good thing I didn't see this.
Yeah.
Also, Midnight Meat Train came out this time. That's a weird horror movie starring Bradley Cooper and Brooke Shields. And I think Rampage Jackson is in it. I think Vinnie Jones plays the murder man.
There you go.
I like Vinnie Jones. Remember he was in like WWE for like a weird. He was like on an episode of SmackDown once, is like promoting a movie, and Vince McMahon is like introducing Vinnie Jones.
Is it because he was doing the Condemned with Steve Austin?
No, I think it predates that. This is like early SmackDown. This is like 2000s era.
Because I remember like Arnold being on SmackDown.
Yeah. Let's see what Vinnie Jones would have. What Midnight Meat Train, right? Let's see what I'm gonna look at his films.
Because I remember like The Condemned and X3.
Yeah, X3, where he's the Juggernaut. He did the meme. He did the meme.
He did the meme from the video, which is. Have you watched that video recently?
Yeah. It's boy, we found that funny, huh?
We sure did. Although I still will sometimes merge. Like I have a coworker who's seen it before, and I'll sometimes go, "Charles, my head." But yeah, that.
What year? Okay, so it's Vinnie Jones was on the WWF Capital Carnage pay-per-view. That was 1998. So I think that was when he was still. That was Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Vinnie Jones. I think this is like him still playing, like sports.
Rugby, you think?
Like football. He was like, he was still playing football, I think, at this point, or was still famous for that.
Yeah.
So, so that's crazy. Anyways, that's the Vinnie Jones segment of the show. Yeah. Let's see what else. Swing Vote, Pineapple Express.
Yeah, that's not a weed smoker. Yeah.
Its genre tags are buddy film, stoner film, action film, and comedy film.
Yeah.
Some of those. Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants 2.
Oh, God. If I had to hear you talk about that movie one more time. As much as you talk about Speed Racer.
Yeah.
I have to hear you talk about Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
Listen. No, this is the sequel. I don't give two rips about the original. The sequel is where it's at. It's where they really figured out the formula.
Yeah. We know where these pants are headed now.
Yeah.
These pants have had a long journey.
Yeah, we've come to understand the pants. And we're invested in their travels, so to speak.
Okay. That's from the Wikipedia article entry.
Yeah. Tropic Thunder. There we go.
Also a movie that you gotta go, huh.
Like at least it's doing it.
Yes.
It actually is telling a message with it.
It is.
So
also it's like Blazing Saddles in the fact that I know it's got problems, but I love this movie.
Yeah. Everyone makes the joke. It's like, it's like, oh, Blazing Saddles could it be made today? It's like, no, it could, because the way it's everyone that is saying that word is like just the dog worst people on the planet. And they're all completely just the pits and like, his buddy characters never say it. So it's like,
one of the funniest things about Tropic Thunder, outside of the actual movie, but is like where Robert Downey Jr.'s character goes, I don't drop character until the DVD commentary.
Yeah.
And if you watch it with the DVD commentary, as soon as the movie's over, he goes back into his actual character himself.
Yeah.
He actually does the whole DVD commentary and character.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's super good.
Yeah.
It's always, every once in a while, there is like a weird, I'm trying to think, there was like, I think the dodgeball commentary has like, starts off with like Vince Vaughn showing up late and he's like eating and there's like distraction, and then it just eventually turns into like the commentary to like there's something about Mary or something weird like that. Like, so the rest of the movie is just the wrong commentary track.
I remember the commentary for Fight Club being really disjointed and weird.
Yeah.
Because it just
and like the Blu-ray, like the DVD like main menu is like weird too, where it's like it is for like there's something about Mary or one of those movies. Right. And, let's see, Star Wars: The Clone Wars came out this year. That movie's not great. The series is really good after like the first season, but that movie's not good.
That again, Toys R Us. I remember stalking the merch for that movie.
The Rocker, starring Rainn Wilson.
Oh yeah, I saw that with the girl I dated before my wife.
Well, there you go.
That movie sucked.
Death Race.
I saw that with her too. That movie sucked.
Jason Statham. As a person that's a fan of Death Race 2000.
Yeah.
Boy, that was a bummer. I'm actually surprised he didn't get because it's a Paul W.S. Anderson movie.
Right.
And one thing that's always incredible about Paul W.S. Anderson is that he absolutely casts his wife in every movie that he does, and she's not in that movie, which really tells you what he thought of that movie.
Like, well, I'll do it.
Yeah. He's married to Mila Jovovich, who's in every single Resident Evil movie, and she is the most important character in the world in every single one of those Resident Evil movies. And he's doing another video game adaptation of Monster Hunter that's coming out next year. And guess who it's starring?
I'm gonna go out and say Mila Jovovich.
Yeah.
Huh.
She's gonna hunt monsters with a giant flaming sword.
Yeah. Well.
So I'm sure you can't wait to go see that.
Yeah. The only video game I've ever returned, JJ. Thanks.
Hamlet 2. I liked Hamlet 2. Steve Coogan is in it. It's like
Steve Coogan was also in Tropic Thunder.
Yeah. I liked Hamlet 2. I saw that in theaters. That's a weird one for me to say. Little Mermaid, Ariel's Beginning.
That was a theatrical release?
That was a theatrical release.
Huh.
Because remember, Lasseter has taken over by this point. So that some weird stuff is going to start popping up that's like, why? But Babylon AD came out this year. Do you remember who's in that?
I don't.
Vin Diesel.
Oh.
Disaster movie. Bangkok Dangerous. Nicolas Cage and Charlie Young.
Yep.
Burn After Reading. Yes.
That's not a bad movie. I
love Burn After Reading, and I love the ending to that movie where it's like, so what did we learn for this? Never do it again. Yeah, I like that movie a lot. I can't get that on Blu-ray either. That's kind of hard one to come across. For whatever reason, there's some weird movies that just like disappear from.
It's just rights issues or whatever.
Proud American. I'm not going to say that word. That movie's called The Battle in Seattle. That was the movie about the Seattle. What was the WTO riots?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ghost Town, starring Ricky Gervais. There's Igor. It was an MGM animated film, and that's starring John Cusack and Steve Buscemi and John Cleese. And that's actually James Lipton's last movie role. Lakeview Terrace, starring Samuel Jackson, is a terrible movie. Don't see that.
Never seen it.
Choke, which is the follow-up to Fight Club, basically. It's the book. It's from the same author, and it's very much in the same vein of Fight Club.
Oh, so it radicalized incels?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
I'll read you the quick and easy plot description. Based on the 2001 novel of the same name, it tells the story of a man who works in a colonial-themed amusement park and attends sexual addiction recovery meetings and intentionally chokes on food in upscale restaurants so his rescuers would give him money out of sympathy and thus cover his mother's Alzheimer's disease hospital bills. So definitely sounds like the same thing from that writer.
Boy.
Yeah. Let's see. Anything else incredible come out this year? Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
Oh, there you go. That's
there you go. Flash of Genius, which is actually a really good movie because it's about the guy who invented automatic windshield wipers that got it stolen basically from him from the car manufacturers. Got railroaded by just like Tucker. So that's actually a pretty decent movie. Starring Greg Kinnear. Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist.
Oh yeah. I think I've seen it once.
Max Payne.
Starring Marky Mark.
Starring Marky Mark. I saw that in theaters too.
With your dad?
No, this is pre him discovering that he likes Mark Wahlberg.
Okay.
So once he discovers the film Shooter, it's just all that's it. It's
Mark Wahlberg guy.
Yeah. W, the Oliver Stone George W. Bush movie starring Thanos.
Oh yeah. When we thought he would be the worst president ever. Remember those times? Think of that.
Salad Days.
Yeah. Oh, he's kind of dumb. It's never going to get any worse than this.
Yeah. Changeling, a mystery crime drama starring Angelina Jolie and John Malkovich, directed by Clint Eastwood. High School Musical 3.
Some say the best of the High School Musicals. Some say.
Some say. Is some you?
I think it's Xavier Woods says that.
Isn't Lana in like some? No, she's on like she's in one of those Pitch Perfect. That's what I was like, she's in some singing movie that I can't remember. Pride and Glory, which Edward Norton like cop drama. Saw 5. Oh boy. Zach and Miri Make a Porno.
Yeah, it's like a era for those kind of movies. Like,
yeah. It's when all those like super horny, sex driven. Because I skipped right past the movie Sex Drive came out, which also has Seth Green and Josh Zuckerman, James Marsden, David Koechner, Madagascar 2, Repo, the Genetic Opera, Role Models, Slumdog Millionaire, Quantum of Solace, Bolt, Twilight, Australia.
Sorry, Hugh Jackman and Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, like one of
only one from Australia.
Yeah, Four Christmases.
My movie of the year.
Yeah, Milk, the Sean Penn movie directed by Gus Van Sant. Transporter 3, which we talked about earlier. Frost Nixon, Punisher Warzone, baby. I love Punisher Warzone. I love that movie. Unrepentantly love that.
It's the rocket launcher scene, isn't it?
Well, that's just part of it. I love that it's almost Welcome Home Frank, but
it's Welcome Home Frank, but also with Wayne Knight.
Hell yeah. It's a weird comic book movie, like directed by a woman.
Yeah, it's super violent, man.
It's so bloody. It's so like it's gross at times. It's got like Jigsaw is disgusting in it. And, like the woman who directed this movie was the director of Green Street Hooligans. And so like it's so weird that they ended up going to this, and she only did one more movie after that. She sort of was railroaded after after that movie. There's a podcast of How Did This Get Made?
Yeah.
Where they do Punisher Warzone, and the two people on it that they have as their celebrity guests are Patton Oswalt and Lexi Alexander, the director of the movie.
Wow.
So it's great. It's a great listen. I highly recommend it.
Not Ray Svensson's last Marvel movie, though.
Oh, surprisingly not.
Wolfgang.
Delgo came out this year. Don't remember Delgo?
No, I do not.
I think it's considered one of the like worst movies of all time.
No.
It's an animated film.
Okay.
Let's see. Starring Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt and Val Kilmer and Malcolm McDowell.
Yeah. Hey, Freddie Prinze Jr.
It had a budget of $40 million, and it made somewhere between, this is great, $695,000 to $915,000. So, yeah,
Man.
yeah,
That is even color. That's even color cover.
yeah,
Eatery probably.
yeah. Keep in mind, this is a Christmas movie, so they couldn't even get families to see an animated movie at Christmas. So good job. Gran Torino.
I like Gran Torino.
It gets like awkward, but
we're like, boy, Clint Eastwood just really likes using racial slurs.
oh yeah, there's too many Asian slurs in that.
It seems like he's really into it, like almost as if it just comes natural to him.
Yeah, it's almost as if he's in the future going to yell at an empty chair, pretending it's a black man in it.
Yeah.
7 Pounds came out this year. That is the Will Smith movie that me and my mom decided this year that we were going to start. You know what? As a Christmas tradition, we're going to go see a movie every Christmas starting now. And we saw this movie.
The tradition ended.
And the tradition ended. We never did it again. What a bad movie. He kills himself with a jellyfish.
Yeah.
So it's great. Yes Man, Tales of Despero, Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
I saw Yes Man and Benjamin Button this year. Benjamin Button is maybe the longest movie I've ever seen in theaters.
How long is Benjamin Button? Is it like literally the longest movie, or it felt like it?
It felt like it. It felt like I want to say it probably was close to 3 hours.
If it's close to 3 hours, and it's definitely not the longest movie you've seen in theaters because Avengers was longer than that.
Yeah, but it felt longer.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the Avengers. I did not enjoy Benjamin Button.
It is 166 minutes.
Okay, so that's
not quite 3 hours, but
God, it's
no, that's like 3 hours and 10 minutes or something.
That's time I'll never get back. Yeah. That movie, don't do it.
I David Fincher is a beloved filmmaker, and people really are excited whenever he has a new movie coming out, and I don't. Let's see. I can think of. There's one movie of his that I absolutely love, and the rest are just varying degrees of okay to me.
Yeah.
Here's a list. Alien 3.
No.
Okay, 7. 7's good.
7 is I would guess that's the movie that you love.
Actually, no, but I still really, really like 7. Let's see. The Game. Don't care for The Game. Fight Club. Fight Club's all right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really. Panic Room.
Panic Room is probably better than Fight Club.
Yeah. But my favorite is Zodiac.
I
love Zodiac. That's
Mark
a great
Ruffalo,
movie. Mark Ruffalo and Robert Downey Jr. are in it. Curious Case of Benjamin Button, The Social Network, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Gone Girl. Like, yeah. Alien 3, get out of here.
Hey, let's just follow up 2 really, really good movies.
Yeah. Marley and Me came out this year.
Oh my God. I saw Marley and Me in theaters with my wife. It's the entire movie.
No, I did not see that movie because I do not see dog movies where I'm 100% certain that the dog dies. Yeah. The Spirit. Remember The Spirit? Frank Miller directed and wrote a movie by himself.
Armie Hammer in that one?
Samuel Jackson's Gabriel Macht is.
Yeah, but it was like off the Will Eisner.
Yeah.
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 It was supposed
crazy.
It was like, oh, it's like Sin City. Like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it is not.
The problem is Frank Miller did not bring Robert Rodriguez with him to actually make it a movie.
Also, Frank Miller's kind of a hack.
Yes.
Sorry, it is what it is.
I like his Daredevil.
I like the Dark Knight Returns. I like his Daredevil.
The Wolverine that he drew.
Yes.
But boy, Sin City is fine. I don't like it as much as I used to, but I don't even really like The Dark Knight Returns as much as I used to.
No,
He seems so. Frank Miller is so angry at women that it becomes unwatchable and
unless
unreadable.
you're Asian, then he's
Yeah.
not angry anymore.
Yeah. Valkyrie came out,
Okay.
and that's sort of the last major release of the year. Valkyrie was a good movie. It was okay.
Kind of a stack movie.
Yeah, 2008. Huge year for movies. Boy, let's see. How long have we been talking here? Just a little over 2 hours. It makes it hard. Makes it a little hard to export these sometimes, but whatever. But we like to talk about the movies of 2008. It's fun to put it in context, especially when it's a movie that, like Bolt, where this is the Disney revival era, and like Bolt isn't even the highest grossing, like not even in the top 10 of animated, like of films that year. Like there were 2 other animated films that did better that year.
Yeah,
you know,
and like I saw, as you heard, he and I both saw a ton of movies.
Yeah, 2000. Yeah, this era is when I was probably seeing the most movies.
And Bolt was not even on our radar.
No. I did see Bolt when it. I remember I got Bolt because I remember somebody said, Bolt's actually a pretty good movie. You should rent that. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'll see that. And I saw it, and I was like, oh yeah, it actually is a pretty good movie. It's actually pretty decent. I haven't watched it since it first came out on DVD, but I still liked it. I think it's fine. It's not gonna stick with you, and there's no catchphrase. It's a bummer when there's not a kids movie without something that you could really sink your teeth into. But you'd think Rhino would have something, or Bolt being a superhero in a TV show would have time to take out the trash kind of one-liner.
Yeah,
and that's the end of that chapter. But no, nothing. He doesn't even have a catchphrase, which is weird for a TV show character. It's Bazinga or something.
Well, everything's from a neat little package, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, Bolt's fine. I not necessarily recommend it, but also you could do worse, much worse, exponentially worse. You could have watched Delgo. But yeah, so that's this. So the next film on the Disney trail is Princess and the Frog, Disney's 49th film, which is funny because boy, we're really barreling towards the end here.
Yeah.
And then we'll take I was going to say a hiatus, but probably not, since we took a hiatus already, but close enough to a hiatus to refresh ourselves and start season 2 of the theme park stuff. But after that, you know what, Nick?
Yeah.
Princess and the Frog recently found itself in the news.
It did.
Yeah, and without saying too much, I think this puts it at a perfect time to do a surprise movie next week.
Okay.
I don't think we'll talk about it here. You know what it is. We've talked about it.
I do know what it is.
You do know what it is. It's pretty obvious with this conversation what it should be.
It is you would think a movie that we haven't covered this podcast. We've already kind of passed it by, but
yes, we're traveling back in time.
Yeah.
Because some of the stuff we're going to talk about on Princess and the Frog are definitely going to tie in to what the next movie is going to be. So, and next week will be, or next episode, I gotta say next week, but we know how I am with this. Yeah. So it's actually probably it's either going to be a supersized episode or a 2-part episode. So it's going to be packed full of information and a content warning. So
yeah,
it's going to be great. Can't wait. It's one that's always been on the in the orbit of the show. Never really knew when to do it, when it was going to be a good time to do it. And I feel like now is I feel like now is as good a time as any to touch upon that movie. So stay tuned for the next exciting episode of Disney Compendium. It's going to be a one heck of a ride.
Yeah.
Literally.
Literally.
But until then, thank you all for joining us and have a magical day.
Bye.